Now let's look at another feature provided by Tableau Server, which is administrative view. So what are these administrative views? So these are standard set of dashboards or views provided on the Tableau server in the maintenance page, which help us monitor what's happening on the server, um, be it the server activity or be it the user activity, uh, be it something else that you needs to be monitored on the server. So and these, remember, these are standard set of views, and there is not much of modification you could do on these views. So let's go and look at these views on the Tableau server. Here, we are in the maintenance page, and I'm an admin. Okay, and on the maintenance, I can see this analysis section over here, and it's got a view, a header called view, and underneath that we have the server activity, the user activity, performance history, background tasks, space usage, and customized views. So these are the standard views provided to us by Tableau. So these again provide very simple um, dashboards for a admin. For if I'm an admin, so I would want to keep an eye on the server activity. So for this, I don't really need to do anything else, but actually just click on this view, which is provided to us by Tableau by default once we install and configure the Tableau server, and keep an eye on this. So let's see. So this is what is happening on our server. Um, Over the last 24 hours. This is the viewing pattern. So number of views. So how many number of views? Total number of views is 10 at 3 p.m. today, and four workbooks were accessed, and there were three users who logged in, and only one site has been accessed. So we have a trend, and this says from how many views have been, um, how many views have been hit till now. So this is just a different representation of all the information that you would want to know about the server activity. So here again it says which is the a workbook that has got the total number of accesses or total number of views, basically, no, total number of times it has been viewed. So the department item sales dashboard is actually the highest viewed dashboard on a server. So you can also drill down into this and see inside that workbook, which is the dashboard, which is the dashboard exactly that's getting the largest number of hits. So these things are pretty important because when you're monitoring the server, you might notice that there is one particular dashboard that's being accessed by most of the users, and most of the times um, that is being accessed, probably throughout the day. 90% of the users are accessing one single dashboard, and then it's bound to make certain things go slow, and perform a little not that great. So these information can be found out using this the administrative views that we have um, and provided to us by Tableau. Again, so these are the different sheets dash charts that is available that are available, and then also you have these filters over here. So relative date filter, so you can see for the last 30 days or just yesterday. Let me just click on yesterday. Yeah, this is just yesterday, and then this is just today. Let's see what's happening today. You know, so these are the things that is you can filter on with using this relative date filter. And then you have the site. Right now, it's all default because we only have one site, which is a default site. And then if you had two couple of different sites, then you can actually see the server activity on each of the sites. And then we can see projects. So now if I don't want to see all the projects, I just want to see my project, which I am worried about, which is sales. So I can just filter it onto the sales and then see that. And if I want to see by the user name, who's accessing um, I, which view, so I can just say admin. can also search, and I get this, just select this guy, and you would get only the information about the admin, what's admin been doing. So if you might also notice sometimes that there is one particular user in your on your server who keeps logging in and has got the highest activity on the server. So you can actually track it down over here, and then probably if there is any questions to be raised, you can do that based on the information that you find on this dashboard here. Again, there is a server activity, and then there's a specific user activity dashboard that's available. So this is here. It gives us the current users that are logged in. So on our system, it's just me, the admin, who's got logged in, and there might be like hundreds of users who are always logged onto the system. So we can actually track that over here. And then when was the last activity time? When did I do something last? So that information is available here. And and then the session activity. So the current session, what have I been doing? So I'm viewing this um, this particular dashboard, and then I've been viewing this, and this is like, so how many times and how many minutes have been I using it? Like it's 2 seconds is what I did over here. I was browsing over this site, and then again I was browsing for a point 1 second, and then I was viewing this one for zero point 0.3 seconds. So all this information you can get this again in this user activity, and also you can see publish and download activity. If there was any download that we had done, I published that we had done today on then we would see that information here. Again, similar, we have some similar time and other filters over here. Then also we can see the performance history. So you could probably notice that there is some performance going bad because of a certain activity that's happening on the server. So even before that, you can actually just come to this dashboard here and view the performance history. You can say, okay, this dashboard now, what's been happening. This is a session ID, and then how what time did it start, and how much time has elapsed um, from the activity. So you can see that this is the coffee chain budget. What we did well, here, this is the one which took the probably the longest time, which is like a 33 seconds. So basically, again, you have this. What does orange mean? It's a load view. So how much time will it take to load? So that's what gives us an idea of uh, the performance basically, and then the blue is the compute view, which means how much time did it take to compute the view and then have it loaded, load it. So different information is available for us. So this is the computing of view. This is just this part of it. What we saw here, the computing of the view. It's taken 33 seconds, and the same thing is again given here on the request time history for a computing of the view. And this is the same data point that we're looking at over here. Okay. And again here, this is a load view. So load view, for example, over here, this took around 3.8 seconds. So probably somewhere we would find the same information over here. And this chart over here also draws a standard deviation so that you can and has a band so which says, okay, what's the standard deviation and which one is beyond that. So these two are probably the most um, I mean, the least performing views right now on our server. So probably this needs to be tracked and monitored so that we can, in case if it really goes way beyond the limit, then we can contact the responsible uh, people for this view, and then ask them to look into certain things which they could do to increase the performance. And there is this background task. Okay, so currently there's just some background task that's running, which is the server kind of background tasks. So we've not really set up any refresh or something of that kind right now. So that's why we're not doing, we're not seeing any of that over here. So we let us create some extracts later on during the course of the session, and then we can come back and revisit this background tasks uh, da- dashboard. And again, we have the space usage. I'm not sure if we are using too much of space right now. I don't think we are, because it's just we only have a few reports on the dashboards, and a couple of them that we have published. So you can see here that the admin who's been publishing so far has just used around um, 0.96 MB, which is not that great at all. I mean, it's not bad. And we see that the maximum is by Tableau software, because that's the default user who's given who's published a lot of sample dashboards for us when we install the software. Okay, so you see the space used by project, space used by user, space used by, I mean, the workbook and the data sources by size. So this view is very important, because you might have a lot of data sources being published onto the server, and those might be really really big in size. Might run into GBs, like hundreds of GBs sometimes. So we can have a track of those large, extra large data sources or the workbooks that people publish, so that we can always have a tab on these things, and then take action as and when required. Again, we have those standard filters over here, and then customized views. So what are customized views? If you remember, we have done a customized view saying um, how many. I mean, we have created or remember my changes. So there, that is what is called the customized view. So if I create a stand default view over there, then I would always, I mean, that view would come up here and say, okay, this is the customized view, the T view that we had created, and then we had created another one which is like espresso and tea view. So these are the views, if whatever view you create over there are called customized views, and this is a dashboard which gives you um, which ID has got most number of customized views. Yeah, by ID I mean the user ID. So here you see the sales manager south is having the most number of uh, customized views. Okay, and in terms of size. So this is again the same thing over here, which says which view, or which sheet or workbook actually um, is having the largest number of customized views. Again, your standard filters over here. So this is about all the administrative views which Tableau provides us. But apart from these, if me as an admin, if I want some extra information from the logs, I mean from this basically the repository of Tableau, I can actually go and build um, my own customized views as an admin, and all I can say, okay, listen, these are all fine, but I need some more information which is not available in these 5 or 6 dashboards which Tableau has given me. So what do? I can actually go and create the my Tableau dashboards on my own by connecting to the Tableau's repository, which is the PostgreSQL database. Okay, so how do we do it? So let's look at how we can actually go and create these customized views on our own. Okay, so let's go back to the slides for a while. Yeah, so we just went through these different dashboards that are available. Okay, so next coming to creation of the custom admin views. So as I said, if I want some a custom view which is not provided by the Tableau's standard views, I can go and do it myself. So how do I do it? Is over here, so what we would have to do is a Tableau's repository where it stores all this information about the various users, and various dashboards, various workbooks, and the login activities. Everything is being stored in its repository, which is a PostgreSQL database. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to go and set a password um, for that repository, for that database, and expose it to the external world. So let's now go on to the Tableau server and set a password. Okay, so we need to navigate to this path, which is C program files, Tableau Server 8.1, and bin. So let's just, and in this folder, just shift right click and then open command window here. Okay, so let's now set the password. Tab admin. Okay, so tab admin is a utility which comes along with Tableau server. So what we would do is we're gonna look at this in our future classes. So for now, we'll just use this to set the password for the repository. Okay, now that the password is set, so we've set the password, now we'll have to restart the server. Okay, so once we have restarted the server, this the repository would be available for um, any other IP whichever IP wants to access this database can access it and then make use of the data available in it. So we'll see how we can make the use of the data available in it a little later. So first, let's go and restart the server. Let's exit from here. Now we can restart it from the Windows menu here. So let's stop the server. Okay, now that the server is stopped, let's it's going to take a couple of minutes or a little longer to start the server. So now that the Tableau server is restarted, let's go and uh, connect to that using our Tableau desktop. So before that, what we need to do is, we need to download the PostgreSQL um, driver from the tablewsoftware.com /support/drivers page. So we can get the driver from here. We can just download it. So I've already done that in my system here, so I don't really have to do it now. So let me just bring up the Tableau desktop. And let's go to connect to data and look for the PostgreSQL. Here it is. Localhost 8060 workgroup. Tableau, username is Tableau. And the password is the password that we set a few minutes earlier. It's a connect. Yep, there you go. They connected to the PostgreSQL database, which is the repository for Tableau server. So all these things, um, all the tables that start with an underscore are the ones that we would be able to actually connect to and do our reporting on. So let's just connect to one of these, any one of these. Let's go and connect to the projects. See, okay. Connect live. Okay, so this is the data source. This is a table called projects that we're talking to, and then these are the these are the fields that are available in that table. So let's just quickly, so how many, so this is account, so this is, so this just gives us the different projects that are available and uh, who's the owner for this, owner ID and then owner name. So if you probably wanted to have a report where you wanted to list all the sites, all the projects that we have, and then who's the owner for each of this project, so we could quickly go and build this report as well. This is a great report that we've built. We could actually do something else. Also, we can just try connecting to another table here. Let's do that again. Localhost 8016. Local Tableau and password. Let's just connect to data source stats. Connect live, yeah. Let's see what do we have here. So in the data source stats, we have the data source ID, last time access, and which site it belongs to, and number of views. So let's do that. Let's just double click on it. Then we only have one data source. So the number of views would be only for that data source. So it's like number three, three views on that data source. So this is again, since we've just installed our server and then we've just started doing certain activities on that, just creating users, just publishing a few dashboards. So we do not have too much of information in our repository as of now. But then consider on an environment when you have a Tableau server rolled out for like around hundreds of users, and there are like thousands of views every day, and then probably like a hundred or a couple of hundreds of reports are not being published. So in such a environment, in such a large scale environment, you would surely have a lot of things, a lot of data about all the things that is happening on the server. So you can use these and then connect. You can use the repository, enable it for external access, like the way we did by setting a password for it, and then connecting using Tableau, connect to the repository, and then you can build your own views and then have them published as well. So we as admins, we might want to see some particular, we might want to track a particular metric on the server. So we can build our own custom admin view and then have it published, so that and make it as my start page, a preference page, so that every time I log in into my Tableau server, I always see this as my start page, wherein I'm tracking this kind of a server activity or something else, server activity and user activity put together. So something I'm tracking. So if I want to create a custom view of that kind, I can always do that the same way as we did just now.